Atmosphere, the space created by a story meant to draw you in, surround you. It's like air, taking it in and becoming one with it. We are engulfed by the words spoken into our ears, the sounds, music chiming and reminding us when danger is near. Today, I introduce to you Blood Trees, some of the best short story atmosphere you can find in the MLP audio drama community. Before we talk about the audio play, we need to discuss what makes the atmosphere we find in audio projects. Seeing as the only means of communication in this medium is audio, we only have voice, sound, and music to draw us in. In order to form the atmosphere, the following must be set: mood, setting, and tone. Mood is what the audience is supposed to feel as they listen. Should we be uneasy, happy, sad, excited? Setting is where the story is placed, which affects both tone and mood. If this was placed in space, there would be a sense of loneliness or a story of adventure. Establishing what type of tale is told is important to the overall feel you are trying to convey. Finally, there is tone, the vibe the story gives. Is this a comedy, romantic, fantastical, adventurous? These elements form how we feel when we watch, our investment. It tells us what this story is. Knowing this, what kind of story is Blood Trees, and how does it accomplish this task? Blood Trees was composed, edited, and written by Zephysona, a light horror story about a little girl and a dying tree. The story itself is told through a narrator, Ari Rebecula, as she relays it to her siblings. From the setting of an old forest set in a land far off from the familiar country of Equestria, as the main character sits on a stump during the night. You can already tell what kind of atmosphere is being presented from the setting. It's meant to replicate campfire tales told by children to scare them, the story reminiscent of the ones meant to be warnings to children to behave. Though this isn't a normal warning, it's more fantastical, and with how Ari speaks, you get a sense there's more truth than her audience believes. How she speaks is one of the most important aspects in how the atmosphere is formed. During high-tension moments, her voice becomes more panicked and rushed. When the moment gets softer, her voice softens with it. There's also her voice and tone, how it's light and mysterious. She never wants to give any direct answers, adding to the uneasy mood she sets. She searched from branch to branch, beneath the ferns, in the shallow creeks, and the rotting woody debris, until finally she found the source of the sound. An enormous, golden, shining pine cone hung high up in the branches. It was beautiful, like nothing she had ever seen. But something about it also strangely unsettled her in a way she could not describe. Moths are usually drawn to lights, but she noticed how all the other creatures avoided the glowing pine. As she rushed forward, the hanging roots lashed her face. Their snagging tendrils clawed her skin, down and down and down, until finally the girl grew too tired to run anymore. It was then, deep within the earth, that she took pause. She had been lured by shiny pine cones, chased by a shadow, and coaxed by a voice claiming to be a tree, all so that she could end up here. Ari has some assistance from extra narration in the form of the dying old tree, voice old and creaky, pushing the atmosphere further, voiced wonderfully by Test-Around Joy.
Deep in the heart of my roots, you'll find a book. It's bound with strings of hot guts. Its cover is made from tank squirrel leather. Its ink is made from black raven tears. And its paper, it's made from my own flesh.
Voice isn't the only aspect that affects mood. There's also the music, which constantly sets the tone of each sequence. The use of music in the short does a lot for building the feel of each moment. Right from the beginning, the use of a whimsical track sets the mood, giving the audience an idea of setting, as the place and main character are loosely introduced. Its bouncy and playful nature gives a feeling of safeness, while its deeper tones gives a sense of mystery or fantastical feel as we travel to this land. Fade into the soft sounds of a more dreary note as the children of the story notice the first signs of potential danger pushing this idea. This sound builds as the beast in the story draws closer, upping the intensity. Suddenly, she heard a noise behind her and turned to see a single red eye peering back at her from the shadows. Even among the shadows, the darkness that surrounded this glowing red eye was the blackest black she had ever seen. It was not merely an absence of light, but a bottomless darkness that snuffed out all other light. One of the best aspects music-wise comes in during the visit and short adventure within the tree. The use of bagpipes perfectly captures the moment of the tree slowly dying. What makes this part so great is the use of reoccurring tracks and sounds, from the chimes connecting the pine cones to the trees, to the use of the same bagpipes as the child is crushed by the roots, reinforcing the theme of death the tune presented earlier. The roots reached for her, and as carefully as they could, cradled the girl. They rocked her gently and brushed her hair to calm her down, cooing softly in her ear. The voice of the tree told her everything was going to be okay, telling her to sleep and be at peace. The girl eventually calmed and sunk into a deep sleep. Then carefully, quickly, quietly and painlessly, the roots crushed her body as easily as snapping a twig. Music is a powerful tool in the art of audio productions, as it tells the audience so much while saying so little. Atmosphere can't be created by one aspect alone. It relies upon a combination of elements to properly draw the listener in. Using music, voice acting, and sound to set the tone of each moment and easing us into the mood as the characters enhance it. A setting that creates a space in which the story can unfold. Writing that sets the foundation for all these elements. Together, you have the mood, setting, and tone. Each aspect relying on these three pieces to create a whole. Blood Trees uses these to its fullest to mold a fun, short tale, perfect for Halloween.